In the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears selected a safety, Dillon Thieneman, and this is a guy that brings so much of exactly what Dennis Allen wants schematically. We're going to talk about that pick. Plus, we're going to talk about the best players on day 2 for the Chicago Bears in rounds 2 and round 3. Can the Chicago Bears shore up their trenches like they need to on that defensive line? We're talking about all that, plus dive into the mailbag right after this. What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host, Terry Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And the Chicago Bears selected Thieneman in the first round, and this was really great value for the Chicago Bears. This has the chance to be a steal. Many people thought Thieneman would go much higher in the draft, and even the fact that he fell to the Chicago Bears at number 25, where they had their pick of him, Zion Young, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. They had their pick of a lot of guys, and they decided to go safety. Now, this is one a draft pick that understandably some Bears fans are meeting with, oh my God, but we didn't address the line. Like, the whole thing is I need everybody to have a better intelligence level and a better awareness level on where these players are and what's still there. There are already some Bears fans that are completely melting down and acting like the Bears aren't going to address the defensive line or the pass rush at all, which is honestly, and I say this, from a loving place, but it's foolish, right? It's foolish that people are already acting like, oh my God, Ryan Poles didn't address the defensive line. He doesn't care about the pass rush. How are we going to be able to take the next step as a playoff team and we haven't addressed the pass rush? It's one day. It was one round. That's all it was so far. And when you look at the names that are still on the board, with round 2, when we're going to talk about that, Ryan Poles still has more than enough chance to address the pass rush in a big and meaningful way. But what he did is he went out and got a guy in Thieneman who fits everything that the Chicago Bears could possibly want at the safety position. It's just ridiculous when you really look at it. His ability to be run support, his ability to be used, in coverage, inside the box, outside the box, pass blitz as well. He had 2 sacks over the course of his collegiate career, 1 each of the last 2 years, 2 forced fumbles, 8 interceptions, 13 passes deflected. Like, this is a guy that is just simply put a playmaker. He makes plays happen. And the Chicago Bears got a guy that at 21 years old, 6 foot, 205 pounds, is the perfect replacement for Jaquan Brisker. Over 300 total tackles in 3 years in collegiate football. Only one of those years he didn't cross 100 yards. That's his last year, his first year in Oregon, where he only had 92 tackles. But, you look at what this guy's been able to do over the course of his college career. I don't understand how and where Bears fans could be mad at this pick. And, that's why I say the whole fan brain thing is that sometimes fans get so caught up in a scope of things that they forget that they don't really realize, let's look outside of that, right? Let's look at the whole entire draft board. Stop getting tunnel vision, right? And when you look at what happened in regard to him, the Bears director of college scouting, Brett Ackley, said this: versatile football character, really checked every box along the way. Thieneman checked every box. They got a guy for them that checked every single box that they could be. His playmaking ability is great. He is going to be, or has the potential to be, such a difference maker and a playmaker in a Dennis Allen system. It's great. You just can't overlook it at all. Like, what he's able to do or has the potential to do is great. This is the first time the Bears have drafted a safety in the first round since Mark Carrier in 1990. We're talking about 36 years that since the Bears have drafted a safety in round 1. So we're going to see in the 3 years that he had, between Purdue and Oregon, the numbers are just ridiculous. You also look at what the schematic thing is, which we've already talked about, and I told you guys, that is what the Bears are going to focus on the most, is how players fit in the scheme. His scheme friendly, the recognition that he has. He's a really good run defender as also. This is a guy that's going to be such a good NFL starter that it's ridiculous, right? So in the offseason where you lost both your starting safeties in Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker, you got Kobe Bryant in here. Now you've added Thieneman. Man, this is going to be such a good safety duo for the Chicago Bears, man. And it really comes down to how that fits in the secondary in total. We know Dennis Allen and his proclivity for defensive backs. It's huge. He loves the defensive backfield and having multiple guys out there that can do multiple things. I would not be surprised to see Thieneman line up in so many different areas of the football field. This is special. And I can't stress that enough, that Thieneman is going to be really good for the Chicago Bears. And despite what some Bears fans will have you believe, the Bears did right by getting a safety here in round one, and the safety that they got just is a perfect fit for what Dennis Allen wants to do. So let's have fun with it. Just a great pick, but that now leaves us in day two. And we know that the Bears have to address the defensive line in a meaningful way. So I want to talk about the players that are best fits for the Chicago Bears on day two of the NFL draft. The first one, Caden McDonald. Now, I would not be surprised if Caden McDonald goes into one of the first 5 to 10 picks in the second round, which may mean that the Chicago Bears, who don't pick until 57, are going to have to trade up to get him. But that's a benefit of having multiple second-round picks. They can also trade future picks to get him. Caden McDonald was graded as a first-round pick. He's now fell to the second round, right? And when you look at it in regards to it, the only defensive tackle that really went in the first round was Caleb Banks. That's it. McDonald and his run-stopping ability would be so good for the Chicago Bears team, especially paired next to Javon Dexter. He brings all of that you really need there. Caden McDonald out of Ohio State has to be one of the guys that's at the top of the draft board for the Chicago Bears. Then you have the edge, TJ Parker out of Clemson, right? Another guy that had a first-round grade that fell off because of all the things. Now, he did have a disappointing 2025 season where he finished with 6 sacks compared to the 12 he finished with at the end of the 2024 season. But when you look at this guy and his ability to get to the quarterback and add some added pressure, that is what really stands out about him. Now, some could say that he doesn't have a true elite trait that stands out about him, but I think when you look at now that he's fallen down to the second round, that's potentially tremendous value there for the Chicago Bears in that second round. Next up, Zion Young. Now, this is a guy that has all the skill. There have been some questions thrown out about his fit for Dennis Allen's scheme specifically, but like I said yesterday, is that sometimes talent can overcome a shaky scheme fit. And I think that, even if there is that, and again, Dennis Allen is smart enough where he'll be able to work it, but when it comes down to it, Zion Young, if you're able to get him with one of your second-round picks, that's already tremendous value. So Zion Young is coming off the best season of his collegiate career. He had 8 sacks for Missouri last year, and he plays with such a high motor that when you watch this kid play football, all you think that stands out to you is relentlessness. This dude is a monster on that edge, and he makes offensive linemen's night hell. Even when he doesn't get sacks, he makes it hell for the offensive line. So Zion Young is definitely somebody that the Bears could draft today in day 2. Next up, Cassius Howell, the edge out of Texas A&M, right? So when you look at it again, this is another guy that, could have been a first-round selection by some mocks when it came down to it. But if he's there at pick number 57, 26 sacks over 3 years in college, 12 for Texas A&M last season, this is a guy that absolutely just gets to the quarterback, brings the relentlessness, has that physicality that you like to, more traditional size as well that we know that Dennis Allen likes on that defensive line. You bring in Cassius Howell, you have him, Austin Booker, Montez Sweat as your edges with a improved interior defensive line as well. If you get one of these tackles as well, I think that's tremendous value for the Chicago Bears there. So Cassius Howell, another guy to keep his ear out for his name being called by the Bears on day 2. Next up, Avion Terrell. Now, this is a cornerback out of Clemson that you can look at again. If the Bears do go this, I think that this may be the more so round 3 if he falls there. But this is a guy that when you look at how Dennis Allen likes to use his secondary with Nashawn Wright leaving, the questions around Tyreek Stevenson, Avion Terrell is a guy that I think instantly comes in and he has a chance to compete for your starting job. Now, Terrell Smith is still here. Of course, we still have Tyreek Stevenson, Zay Frazier, your rookie last year that didn't get to play. He's going to be making a case for himself as well. But Avion Terrell definitely can as well be a guy that you can look at as a cornerback in this draft. Another cornerback, Jermon McCoy, the cornerback out of Tennessee, right? Now, he did have an ACL injury, right? A torn ACL, which is maybe the only reason he could be there for the Chicago Bears when it comes down and get him. But this is a guy that has a really, really good potential as a starter. If he recovers from that ACL, you're talking about having him and Jalen Johnson as outside cornerbacks with Kyler Gordon in the slot and Zay Frazier and what we just talked about with the safeties. This could be a great potential here. And he has the potential to be a shutdown corner in this league And I would not be surprised if a team reaches a little bit on him, but it just comes to those questions with his torn ACL and the recovery there. Then, of course, offensive tackle. Since it does seem like the Bears are open to offensive tackle, Caleb Tiernan, the offensive tackle out of Northwestern, is a guy that I do think the Bears can get. I hope the Bears kind of focus more on the defensive side of the trenches. But when you look at it, he had a pre-draft meeting with the Chicago Bears as well. And this is a guy that has really good IQ, has really good hand technique. He does have shorter arms, which is kind of the reason he's going to fall in this draft. But if the Bears are looking for an offensive tackle here on day 2, he makes a lot of sense. Next up, linebacker, another position that I do feel is a position of need for the Chicago Bears. Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker out of Texas Tech. This guy was a Heisman Trophy finalist. That says a lot about him, right? And he fits exactly what you think of as a Bears linebacker, right? He knows how to make plays. He's always around the football. And I think that you look at it, he can be a pick in down to round 3. If you get a guy like this in round 3 that could be a future starting linebacker for you, it's great. Of course, we got Jack Sanborn coming back. We got DeMarco Jackson. We signed Devin Bush. But if you're able to add Jacob Rodriguez to that, he instantly can make an impact. Now, the question comes down to how much do the Bears expect from Ruben Hippolyte, right? Like, do they expect to use him a little bit more this year? But with all that said, Jacob Rodriguez is a great guy here for the Chicago Bears. And then another defensive tackle, Christian Miller, right? Christian Miller is a guy that has really good speed for his size. I love that part of him. Really good first step, but it allows him to use that strength. He has that arm length as well. He can hold down the middle of a defensive line he excels in run defense. And I think he just complements Javon Dexter and Javon Dexter's weaknesses really well, which is really what you're kind of looking for here. Christian Miller is another guy that I think really stands out here on day 2 that could be picked by the Chicago Bears. So those are the guys and the names to look out for in rounds 2 and 3 for the Chicago Bears. Another guy is R. Mason Thomas, is a guy that could also be there for him. He had 6 sacks this past year for Oklahoma. So, you look at that one. But this is a guy that I think is, again, an NFL level. I don't know if he can be a starter, though. He's more of a situational edge. But the Bears have a number of guys that they can go to in the second and third rounds on day 2. Let's see how they shore up the trenches today. I think this is going to be a very trench-heavy day for the Chicago Bears, and let's see what they do. With that said, it is Friday. It is Friday. It means it's mailbag day. Let's go ahead and get into these voicemails. Only 2 today, so I need y'all to get in more for the Cognac Boys to do their mailbag tomorrow. But let's get into these voicemails. This one's from Darius.
What's going on, fellas? Darius from Dallas, man. I'm hyped the hell up, man. I'm hyped the hell up. I didn't think we were going to be able to get this kid. I thought we were going to have to trade up to get him. I thought Minnesota was for sure going to get him if we didn't. And, man, I cannot only imagine what Al Harris is fixing to do with this kid that runs a 4.3. Now, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed because the last white safety we drafted was Chris Conte. So let's just, let's hope this is not one of them situations. But, man, we got our guy, dude. That was our guy, man. I wanted him more than McNeil Warren for sure if we went safety. And with him and Kobe Bryant, this secondary is going to be elite, man. I really do feel like that. I think we're going to get quite a few coverage sacks this year. When you got a guy with that kind of speed and that kind of explosiveness and the playmaking ability sitting back there at free safety, man, it's just going to make it a hell of a lot more difficult to hit us deep. It really is. Now all we got to do, man, I'm hoping tomorrow, if by the grace of God, Caden McDonald is still available for sure. If we can snatch him in the second round, man, that would be more than ideal if we can get him. But we'll see, man. We still got a lot of good, really fucking solid players on the board, man. We got TJ Parker still sitting there. I think the best case scenario with this second round is if we get a solid defensive tackle with that 57th pick, and then swing around and I don't know, maybe get a Jacob Rodriguez with the 60th, or just another playmaker, man. Maybe even offensively. We got some guys on the board still offensively. I think that was a hell of a pick by Ryan Poles, man. We didn't even have to trade up to get him. I've got zero complaints about this pick. I think this is an A+ pick, and I think that the fact that he's going to be coached by Al Harris, within 2 years, this guy's going to be a Pro Bowler. No question about it. You look at his playmaking ability back there, he's a better athlete than Kevin Byard. So if he can just get to where he can understand the scheme, I believe in Dennis Allen's ability to use him. And, you might see him coming off the edge on blitzes. Like, I'm excited about this, man. Zero complaints. Let's fucking go. Day 2, defensive tackle, edge rusher, and let's go fucking get a chip, man. Texas up, bear down.
Thieneman is so perfect for the Chicago Bears. He's fast. He hits hard. He's good in coverage. He's so good for the way that Dennis Allen likes to scheme that I always hesitate to call things perfect fits, but it's about as perfect of a fit on paper as what you can get. Now, of course, sometimes fits on paper don't come into reality. We got to see what him and Kobe Bryant are going to really turn into, in this level. But I think that overall, the Bears got them one. The Bears got a position of need on day one for a player that probably should have gone much higher, right? Like, part of the reason I talk so much about Emmanuel McNeil-Warren and didn't talk a lot about Thieneman is because I just didn't think he would be there for the Chicago Bears. But he is bringing everything that we need. So, and I think that scheme fit continues to be something that we know that the Chicago Bears are really considering just by the way that they've maneuvered through this draft. They look at scheme, they consider scheme, and they got a guy that's a scheme fit. That's everything that they need in Daniel. And I keep saying Dillon Thieneman. So let's see what he can do. I'm glad that he's a Bear. He's going to be wearing the blue and orange. Let's go out there. Let's make some shit happen, and let's get some shit done because that's a guy that I believe is going to get some shit done. All right, let's get into the last voicemail for today. The second one. Let's end the last one. This one's from J-Rock.
Hey, y'all. What's up, man? This your boy, man, J-Rock, a.k.a. Coach J. Spence. Just want to give my thoughts on this first day of the draft. It's like, hey, man, it's day one, man, and we got an immediate impact starter. Well, I want to call him, man, Young Miami Vice, because he was with that swag, a.k.a., man, R. Harrison Smith, man. With the way this draft went, man, there was plenty of prospects to help us out at DN, D tackle, maybe linebacker, man, on day 2. Like, nobody can get everyone they want. You know what I'm saying? It's not Madden. You know what I'm saying? You can't just get everybody. But, you know what I'm saying? The first round only covers 32 players. Like, the round is 6 rounds. So, draft is 6 rounds, I should say. So, but there are plenty of people we can get, you know what I'm saying, on day 2 and day 3. You know what I'm saying? They can fill those needs, you know what I'm saying? But we did the most important thing. We got the best player available at the spot that we picked at. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, man, if people are really focused in on one position, D, N, D tackle, whatever, man, it's plenty of players that's still out there. Like the way this draft worked, a lot of players fail, you know what I'm saying? Or like they say, like slid down in their spot. I really feel that if we can trust Ryan Poles, man, to address those needs, there's plenty of players out there that we can find. So everybody, man, that was really looking for a DN or a D tackle, man, just chill out, like relax. They're out there. You know what I'm saying? This just the first 32 picks. The draft has 200 plus players that can be picked. And then not to mention, after the draft, you got undrafted free agents, whatever, that have made impacts, you know what I'm saying, on other teams and our team too. So I love the pick. The Thieneman, man, he came out looking like $1 million. Watching his highlight tapes, man, dude is a baller. He's a baller. So, man, hey, y'all, be happy that we got that kind of player and just let things play out. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe that we are going to find players to fit the holes that people think we need, and we're going to be good. So, as always, man, this your boy, J-Rock, a.k.a. Coach J. Spence, man, coming straight from the Lou, representing y'all for the Shy, man. Chicago up, bear down. We got this, man. We're going to be good. You feel me? One.
Listen, fans, like I've said many times before, they suffer from fan brain. They look at things in such a scope and absolutes, like, oh my God, the biggest need is edge, so we have to go edge first. And that's not always how the draft works out, right? You have to manage the board. And I think that it just comes down to GMs look at things differently than fans do, and they should, because they have more information, they have more triggers that they need to look at, and they need to look at the big picture, whereas fans, we can get very scoped in on specific things, right? So you get a player that many people didn't think would fall to 25, you got him at 25, tremendous value. And now you have players that many people thought would go in the first round that are going to be there in the second round. So the Bears have many opportunities today with picks 57, 60, and 89 today to do some things and to get some players that absolutely are going to help their football team next year and help us take that next step as a franchise. And that is the most important thing. Like I said, it's not up to a GM to draft for fans' expectations. It's up to a GM to draft to make the team better. And that's what Ryan Poles did yesterday. Now, let's go out there and see how he addresses the edge. Let's go out there and see how he addresses the trenches overall. Let's see what he does there. There are a lot of intriguing names that are going to be here in rounds 2 and rounds 3 for the Chicago Bears. And don't overlook the Chicago Bears doing something like a Bayesian trade, using some picks or whatever else to move up to get some guys that they want in target. I think that we're going to see a lot of movement on day 2. That's typically where we see a lot of movement because, the board is very fluid at that point in time, right? Even more fluid than the first round. We already saw how trades and unexpected things managed the first round. So those things are going to happen today as well. And Ryan Poles seems like he's in a position to take advantage of it. And let's hope that he can do that. But we're going to see. We're going to see. Let's see what the Bulls do. Let's see what Ryan Poles cooks. And that's the most important thing when it comes down to it. So with that said, that's going to do it for so far for today, y'all. We're going to be live for the draft. The Bears made their move, and I'm telling you guys right now, things are looking so much better for the Bears as this draft goes on. But the job is not done, and we got 3 picks coming up today. Let's see what Ryan Poles can do with them because he has the chance to turn this draft into a monster draft for the Chicago Bears. I want to hear from you guys down below, though. How do you feel about the Thieneman pick? Do you think that it was a steal? And what do you think the Bears should do next with their first couple of picks in round 2? Let me know what you guys think about all that down below. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. You can follow us at Shy Bear Central on every social media platform. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related. That is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.